was born in 1951, the last year of the government of the radicals, where for some reason the President González Videla had prohibited the Communist Party. But of course, I as a baby, I couldn't remember those events, but my parents will do it, who had to flee to Argentina because of the government. When the ex-military officer Carlos Ibáñez came to the presidency, we were able to return to Chile because he repealed the cursed law. Something unexpected, but apparently the new executive loved the freedom of expression that a moment so much hated during his old dictatorship. I started school in a rural place, but gave me a very good education, for later my father helped me get into the National Institute. It was already the 1968 and elections were close, after a perfect government of the DC party where I was active. The political polarization was exacerbated in pursuit of the battles that Soviet and American financed. I believe that the behind center calmed a little my position, but wasn't enough. I was already in my last year of school, and my father went to the last meeting before graduation, but he was involved in a conflict between the Mir and Alessandristas. He didn't expect is that the police will arrive to stop the demonstration and take him detained. From then on, we didn't know what happened with him. A month later, my mother became crazy and she committed suicide. Because of these events, I graduated only in views of my grandparents. I couldn't contain the tears by not seeing who raised me in one of the most important moments, and behind all the students at the bottom of the gym, I saw my mom hanging. I didn't know and I couldn't ask me what to do. I didn't think and I got a job serving the country. So I went to military school. There always need people. It was allowed if you had no mental disorders. It was forbidden to enter with those problems, but I didn't suffer them, so I could enter. However, 123 people yes. What kind of crazy defend the country if they couldn't defend themselves? I promised I wouldn't allow myself to marry a woman. My parents suffered a lot, so I swore not to do it. Instead, I married Chile and signed the commuter when I finished military school, and I was able to exercise as husband. I really believe that there could be no worse time to be military. The commander-in-chief of the army, Carlos Prat, was suffocated by Patria Libertad and the Mir, to such an extent that he had to repress a coup d'etat by the fascist battles. Later known as the Tanquetazo, President Allende granted the corresponding honors, but General Pinochet took the majority. In turn, General Prats would renounce the army because there were soldiers who didn't respect the doctrine Chainer, and he couldn't stand it. Luckily ours, the new commander-in-chief of the army, Augusto Pinochet, was a fanatic of this doctrine, and things was calmed for a time, at least within the institution, because the country really was a chaos. What if I had kids? As I married Chile, I had to have lineage to defend it like me. So I had children, my revolver and my heart that would defend the Palace La Moneda of the any copt that would like to surpass the socialist government of my president, Salvador Allende. Or so I believed, because on September 11, 1973 was planning another coup d'etat. We woke up at 3:30 a.m. to retract troops in the direction to La Moneda, strange situation. Who would be doing another coup d'etat, the Mir or Patria Libertad?
It's 5:30 in the morning and Corporal Gonzalez told me we were going to La Moneda. The carabineros are into place and the armor was in Valparaiso. The high ranks laughed a lot. They talking about who had more red wall-wing decorations. Something normal. Die with the blood of the enemies. We arrived to La Moneda. It was being bombed. It was the fact. But nobody said anything about it and everyone obeyed orders. For some reason, we didn't aim for the hawker hunter and only took position on the ground. The officer required order training and we aimed, but I didn't see enemies being 9 AM. Even so, I tried, but I couldn't stop thinking and noticing against who we were fighting.
For position.
And I settled next to Corporal Gonzalez.
Stand up.
And I tensed my gun and looked at it.
The objective is La Moneda soldiers.
La Moneda? Could it be that the co-workers have been quartered inside the government house?
Fire.
And in a choreography of whistles, we fired to La Moneda. The soldiers laughed, but I didn't. We were the co-Americans who shot at their own president, who they swore to defend and die for him. We shoot our country. We shoot Arturo Prat, Bernardo Higgins, and Manuel Rodriguez. When I am to the government palace, we bleed all of them as traitors. I held my tears, but that was all. I was living dead, shooting at my wife, killing her with her children. I couldn't restrain myself and retrain from the army at the moment. I just loved my wife.
Where are you going, Corporal?
Exclaimed Officer Riquelme, enraged by my disrespect. To any place where you don't find traitors like you. I said, while spitting on the ground, but Corporal Rodriguez and Corporal Gonzalez held me back. Ironic, no? I don't know how many hours passed, but they took me to the National Stadium and they robbed me one of my children, my revolver. I only had one and my widow wife. That day I found out it was retired from the army. In the background on the other side of the bleachers, a man who played a guitar was a professor at the State Technical University. Why were there teachers in the stadium? A man with a bag on his head, accompanied by a soldier, pointed to me. Two other soldiers arrived and took me to a hut. It's probably to ask me to return to the army. I will reject them. I thought. They sat me in a chair and started asking me strange questions. Your father by which party militates? And your mother, and your brother, and you? I said my dad are from the PC and I from the DC. That was the last straw apparently. Because they put a bag on my hand which I couldn't prevent. They could abuse me as they want. They started asking me while they were suffocating me. I understood nothing. Everything was defeated and I ended up unconscious. I woke up with a bucket of water on my face and was tied to a bed. They said that if I didn't tell them where was O'Higgins' ward, they wouldn't stop. They lit a bed and I started to chant, but for my bad luck, I wasn't unconscious and I lived everything in first person. They stopped and as I didn't tell them anything, they armed me with a 9mm revolver similar to mine. I killed by my own son and I can't do anything. Now, before I die, I can only feel proud of never having betrayed my country.